where you been and where you going. This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Be Trippin. Oh, I'm excited. The last one I did was so good. And if you don't know what this podcast is, it's not a travel guide. It's a travel experience podcast. We take you to people's, I don't know, their times in different places all over the world. It's fun. And today I have my friend Colum Tyrrell on. Colum is a funny new comic to New York. He's from Ireland. What is that? The UK? Originally. And he's hilarious. He's got his own podcast called, hold on. What? No, I don't know. What is it?
The Colum Tyrrell podcast.
The Colum Tyrrell podcast. I've been on there. And the last time we were doing it, we started talking about Southeast Asia. And I was like, oh, man, I got to save some of this. We really just talked on on each of our Patreons about Laos, but I was like, I got to save some of this shit from Southeast Asia for Colum. For You Be Trippin. So, Colum, where are we going today?
Today we're going to Bangkok, Thailand.
Bangkok, dude. What a fucking, it's got a lore to it.
Yeah. I actually, when I went, I've been 3 times, oddly.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, because what happened was you arrive, usually
Because you can't fuck all the hookers in the same day.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like, you got to go back.
Yeah. I don't even know if Bangkok's the most hooker of the city in Thailand.
Oh, maybe not. You're
It's
right.
really not the most. It's the other one.
Phuket, Chiang Mai.
Phuket is huge, and then there's another one. I never
Phuket they
went.
call fuck it.
Yeah. That one's even the Diet Light. There's another place in Thailand where they all go. It's pure, just whore film.
They don't have a. Well, tell me. They don't seem like they have no stigma about it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the hotels in Bangkok, I remember, wouldn't let you bring whores back. That was like a thing.
Interesting.
That was a weird. They wouldn't let you bring the whores in for some reason.
So my friend had this, I believe, in Bangkok. Might have been Chiang Mai. Where at some point, if you talk, it's like brothels, sort of. Either massage parlors or.
Yeah.
I'm not going to interrupt you. You're going to tell me.
No,
But at some point, you talk to them a little bit before you just go off.
Well,
especially the brothel ones. Tell me, what was your experience? I don't know.
Well, I never really slept with many prostitutes on the trip.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't sleep with many. It wasn't like my ambition. I was also like 20 years old, and I kind of like still thought that prostitution was kind of gross.
Sure.
It's like, oh, to be young.
Sure. Yeah.
Now it'd be a very different trip in this. Now that I'm 32, absolutely. But here's the thing as well. A lot, and there's like I don't know what they do, but a lot of the local Thai girls, they kind of like, they are whores, but they're not whores. And I think they'll kind of figure you out because they want to fuck you. And they're like, well, I'm not going to fuck this guy, so I might as well try getting an extra 50 euro.
I thought it was the other way around. My friend was like, we were talking, and he was like spitting game, a little bit, and like talking to him. And then eventually goes, let's go back to your place. And it was like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, instead of doing it here, let's go back to your place. And he was like weary of it, or wary, because he's like, okay, hold on, this could be a robbery or something, But it was really like, no, you seem cool. I don't want to fuck you for money.
Yeah.
I just want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
So she's like, this one's just my call. This is not a business transaction.
Yes.
So let's go back to your place and fuck.
Yeah, so...
But if I'm a business owner, I'm like, no, I don't want those girls in my...
Everyone's had the gray area of, what is this? Are you doing it because you liked it or you want money? So a friend of mine brought a girl back to the hotel. He met her at a bar. And he brought her back to the hotel, and then the guy was like, we don't let prostitutes in there." And he was like, "She's not a prostitute." And she's like, "Oh no, I am, yeah." And he was like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "I didn't realize. I thought you were into me." And then somewhere else, in a different city in Chiang Mai, a friend of mine met a hooker at a bar, and he was gonna go home. She was gonna come back to the hotel, and she was like, "Yeah, but I've got my friend with me. I can't just leave her here." So then I ended up bringing the friend home to the same hotel. So he was back. We're in the same room. 2 different beds. He was fucking the prostitute for money. She was paying, and I was banging the friend for free.
Whoa.
Because she was kind of like collateral damage or just baggage or whatever.
She's like, I'm not going to not fuck. I'm not prudish.
Of course. Yeah.
Wait, so tell me, so you're 20 years old.
20 years old in
From
college.
Ireland? Did you just go straight to Bangkok? What did you do?
Originally, I was going to Ibiza for the summer, and then my friend Andy, he was going to Thailand, and we were both trying to convince each other to go on each other's trip. And then we flipped a coin, and he won. So he's like, "Fuck it," and then he just said, "Fuck it, let's just do both." So we went to Ibiza for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks in Ibiza.
He's Irish too.
He's Irish too.
And what? So explain exactly the Irish fuck. Is this gap year or is this?
This
like,
is just a summer. This is just your summer vacation. You have 3 months off between college. So we
so cool. I know you're closer to Thailand than like the United States would be, but not that much closer.
Irish people, I don't know where it comes from, but there's a burning desire to just leave that island and go as far as you can.
Okay, so let's see. Here's
It's
here's
here.
Ireland.
It's also over here, by the way. There's two of them.
Oh, okay. It's 2 Irelands. Double
Yes.
up right there.
Yeah, that's Boston. No,
That's what?
I was joking saying it's Boston. Yeah, there's Ireland there and Ireland there. But maps are hard. Maps are hard to make
Wait, but it keeps going.
because it goes around.
No, I see it. Okay, it doubled up. Yeah. No, I'm glad with it. I'm good with it.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so
it's to scale, this map,
yeah.
right?
So it's the scale. Yeah, it's a one world. So Ireland's here, Dublin.
Yes.
Thailand's where?
Up here, right? I can't.
Malay.
Philippines.
It comes down. It's like here.
It's there to the left.
Udon. Bangkok, right there.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Doesn't
All
look
right.
like it. So that's this far to get there.
Yeah, I flew to.
Actually, you're just as you're closer to the east coast of America, the west coast of America. Anyway, the point is, you weren't closer than any fucking American would be.
No, and then you have to stop off in India. But the
Yeah.
Irish just have this burning desire to leave the island. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Everyone just everyone just goes, "See ya, we're gone." Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they'll
the
just
summer's the best time there. It's crazy to leave.
yeah.
there.
And back in the day, so I went in 2010, I think, around that,
Yeah.
and it was cheap as fuck back then to go. It was dirt cheap to go.
To go, you mean to the flight or to be there?
Just both. Yeah. I don't know how much it costs now to be. But even when I showed up there, and I know we talked about this before, it's like when I showed up there, everyone's like, "Oh, the prices have doubled," and it was only like €2 for a meal.
Isn't it amazing when someone will tell you like, "Hey, it's gotten really shitty here," and you're like, "Well, this is my first time here, and I'm loving it."
This is the greatest place I've ever
So
been.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You must get that about New York all the time. It was better.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
It's like-
should I not be having a good time? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Exactly.
Okay, so you get there from Ibiza.
Yeah, we come from Ibiza, we fly in, we land in Bangkok. And that's why Bangkok, too, this is my first time ever in Asia or anywhere that's
Third
new
world.
like that. Yeah. So
new? What do you mean new? Oh,
Just like a new fucking climate and environment and smell and look. And every single thing is like just brand new. So it's almost overstimulating or, you know, like everything you see, you're like, holy shit. Just seeing an Asian guy asleep on the ground is like, what the fuck? Like you
Yeah.
want to get a photo with it. Or you see these tuk-tuks that people are cycling around in these little tuk-tuks. And you're like, this is back before they used to have, before they start bringing them into real city.
actual cat. Do you know that? You know they're foreign?
Foreign?
Yeah, foreign.
Foreign.
Foreign film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like in China and in Southeast Asia, in Asia in general. That's where the definition of that word seems most correct.
Foreign.
It's like this is
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
foreign. This is all
And-
like out of my realm of comprehension.
Yeah, it's just, and you're just, your jaw is on the ground. And when you arrive in Bangkok, huge city, it's busy, it's scary, it's cheap. There's traffic everywhere.
It's scary.
People
What do you
like-
mean? What do you mean?
Just like a scariness of how new it is. It's not like, and because it's a city too, not everyone there is just out to be your friend. A lot of them are trying to sell you fake Armani shirts and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you don't know how much something's gonna cost. And I think they can tell that you go up and you're like, I'll give the green curry, and they're like $40, and you're like, no.
No.
And when you show up as well, it's like you're brand new, so you don't know what to expect, and you're like wearing jeans, and you're like, because it's day one of traveling, so you're like wearing jeans, and your hair's short and gelled, and then you're meeting people who are finished their traveling, and they've been around forever.
What do you mean meeting people where?
So where we stayed in, every time I went to Bangkok, I stayed in the Khao San Road. I don't know if you went there, did you? Which is like the
describe what Koh San Road. It's probably the most famous.
It's the most famous tourist street of Bangkok.
What happens on Koh San?
Khao San Road is
Yeah.
what we always called it. we're probably completely mispronouncing it for sure.
Yeah, sure. This podcast is not about actual history or anything like that. This podcast is experiential.
Yeah.
This is fucking
So the
Colum's experience there.
yeah. So the Khao San Road is where we
stayed there? What, in a hostel or a hotel?
everything. Because I made 3 trips there,
Okay.
and I'll explain why there was 3 in a minute. But we stayed off the Khao San Road the first time in some like weird little hut thing. So it was like almost like it was off. So the Khao San Road is just a strip, and it's full of bars and like hotels and hostels and all wacky shit.
It's a party.
It's a party street, and there's stalls, and there's loads of
What
stalls.
Stalls of what?
Just stalls of like fake clothing. There's just like people are always selling you like weird like Coca-Cola shirts and stuff. It's like a weird
Yes,
place.
that's right. T-shirts.
T-shirts.
There's
yeah.
some like I love Thailand, right? But there's also
Thailand.
like just weird ones.
Yeah.
Just right, like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, or just a McDonald's shirt for some reason. They sell these international brands.
It's
that
like they
don't-
came across clothes and like we gotta sell them.
Yeah, they just like found a random logo from
Yeah.
something like BMW, and then just a BMW shirt. And you're like, I guess I'll wear that. It's €2.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
It's bargaining, right? Everything.
Yeah, it was bargaining. Yeah, and then the food there is great because that's where you get the stalls.
Let's talk about that's where you get the what?
Like the stalls again, the street
Stalls,
meat
yeah.
stuff.
How do you okay? That's one of my favorite things to do anywhere.
Yeah.
Is going to street food. The
Yeah.
process of getting it, the new tastes,
And you don't know what you're getting.
how you sit there. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah,
like the table situation out of those stalls.
Oh yeah. So the table situation in over there, Khao San Road, it's like it's like children's chairs.
Yeah,
They're like these
children's
little
chairs.
stalls. Stools. These small little stools.
But they're like for like
They're-
kindergarten.
Yeah, they're literally like pink and yellow,
Yeah.
and they're tiny, and
and you sit there like almost.
yeah, your
huddled
knees
over.
are up there like that, and you're with all these other crusty travelers who can't afford like to go into a restaurant, or
Right.
you don't want to either.
Did you even think of going to restaurants, or was
We
it
couldn't
like,
afford. We were broke.
Right.
We were on a budget. Like we were every day. If we could save ourselves $1, we
Yeah.
would all the
Right,
time. We would get the bus everywhere, and then we would find the cheapest stalls. Like we would walk around. That's how poor we
Find the
were.
cheapest stalls.
We would find the cheapest stalls to save ourselves fucking 50 cent.
What kind of food? What kind of food was in the stalls?
You had pad thai. It was always the green curry, yellow curry, and then it was like they had the different shaped noodles.
So they have the
and then there are a lot of smoothies too for some reason.
smooth
Smoothies. Do you remember there was a lot of
yeah.
Thailand smoothies?
Yeah, and I remember might have been Chiang Mai, but they started figuring out that Americans like don't drink the water. You can't drink the water. You can't even. Did you get any advice? It's like you can't eat vegetables.
No, I don't remember that.
They were like because the vegetables are fine. They wash it in water.
Okay.
So anything cooked, you're good for
Yeah.
amoebas and shit. But anything not cooked, water is the worst thing. So if they rinse off a cucumber, you're fucked.
Oh really? You just
Yeah.
have fucking diarrhea?
Yeah, so like you can't eat raw. So whatever. So the smoothies, they started figuring out Americans were like, nah, it's a lot of water in there. And then they would start smoothies, ice and water, bottled water.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, oh, okay, I can trust this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm going to break in right now to let you know that me and Colum are both live stand-up performers. That's what we like more than anything in the world. We do like traveling. We like live stand-up. And I have some dates to promote to you for myself and for Colum. I'm going to be taping my special, Washington, D.C., April 26th and 27th. April 27th is already sold out, so hurry up and get tickets April 26th. If you know anybody in the D.C. area, Maryland, Virginia, if they're cool, let them know and tell them to come on out and have a good time. If they're cool. If they're kind of dorks, it's best they don't come. I'd rather not sell out that 26th show than get some dork walking out angry, which happens every show. Someone's threatening to rush the stage in Rutland. Everyone else is having a great time, and someone threatened to rush the stage. What? How can you have so much joy and so much hatred from the same spot? We're just trying to bring people joy. It's because they're dorks, and they don't get it. I'll also be in Austin this Saturday, 4/20. At the Paramount Theater. Some tickets still available there. I'll have my grinders for sale. Dan St. Germain is opening. He'll be on this podcast at some point soon. Everybody loves Dan St. Germain. Hilarious comic. He'll be opening for me. I got grinders and also the pre-sale will be available for the Vinyl for Jew at that Paramount show. And that's it. my special taping, AriShaffir.com for tickets for everything. Then May 9th and 10th in Los Angeles, doing my storytelling show, Ari Shaffir's renamed storytelling show. Different lineups both days. Get tickets right now. I think first one's almost sold out, second one's half sold out, which means half empty also. Then Australia, straight to Australia from there. Melbourne, May 17th and 18th. 18th is sold out. Adelaide, May 24th. Canberra, May 25th. Brisbane, May 31st. Sydney, June 1st. And I'm done till 2026. Colum is also a comic. He'll also be at the Moon Tower Festival. I think I'm doing a show on the 19th somewhere. And then Hartford, Connecticut, May 3rd and 4th. Sunnyvale, California, Greenville, South Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Long Island, New York, Tampa in July, Port Charlotte, Florida in August, Jacksonville, Florida, Cincinnati, Nashville, Memphis, Burlington. He was with me on that entire bus tour we just did, and you know how hilarious it is. That was only 15 minutes. Come see him for a full hour, which is 48 minutes in Ireland. All tickets are available at Linktree. Colum, where's your website? Share this Linktree. Oh, come on, dude. You can't. Linktree? Do you not have a website, bro? linktr.ee/COLUMTYRRELL. Again, that's linktr.ee/Colum Tyrrell. What the fuck, bro? That can't be your website. Is that really your website? You got a Facebook? Improv? Oh my God. Do you not have a website, you fucking loser? Wow. Patreon? Wow. Nothing's coming up for your website. Now back to the episode.
It's fun to start experimenting.
Buddy, I get it. We're boring you.
It's all right.
Fucking Bangkok, bro. I've never experienced anything like this.
I'll tell you, my body,
Yeah.
my horrible inbred Irish body
Yeah.
did not fit the Southeast Asian lifestyle, weather or whatever. I was fucked.
What do you mean?
So first of all, the food all tore my stomach apart, and I've never eaten spicy food in my life. And when I moved there, I said I'm gonna train myself to like spicy food. So everywhere I went, I'd go, give me the spiciest thing. And then it was just like floods. And then I think I fucked up my stomach. I had to go to the doctor and get something for like an ulcer or something like that.
Dude, when you go to Thai place, like, how spicy you want it? Mild, medium, hot, or Thai spicy?
Yeah.
Which is off the scale.
Yeah.
You would think that would be the hottest, but they were like, no, hottest is the hottest. And then there's Thai spicy, which is like, what are you even doing?
Yeah. So Koreans like that too.
Really?
Yeah, Korean can be so bad. I remember on the scale, I had something and it burnt my tongue right off my face. And then she was like, how hot do you want the next one? And I was like, well, what scale is this? And she's like, that's not even a 1. I was like, well, then not this.
I'm out.
It's crazy.
Out. Yeah. So, yeah, the stalls. Did you see kids selling like Viagra and shit?
I don't remember kids selling Viagra, but there was kids everywhere. Thailand is just
Kids
street
everywhere. At like what hour are we talking about?
all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, they're always selling something. There's always
It's dirty-faced
just
7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Trying to hawk shit at you.
Trying to hawk shit.
At
They come
2
over
a.m.
with like a pen that's like lights up. And
Yeah.
they're like, buy the pen. And you're like, you'd give it to them just like because they're like street urchins.
I don't want your dumb pen.
Yeah.
I already have a pen, you loser.
That's another one. Yeah, you show up, the stalls get late, they start lighting up. So they're selling like, like those fans, those hand fans that spin around.
Yeah.
But they light up in like a weird neon color. So everyone's just.
Like music festival?
Yeah, exactly like that. It's just strobe lights and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, the Koh San Road is just one strip. It's full of stalls. It's full of hostels. It's full of all the travel stuff you need.
Like what?
So you'll need visas if when you're traveling. So let's say if you're going to Vietnam next, you need to get your visa. So you would get that sorted in Bangkok.
They do that on Koh San Road?
Yeah, or they would at least have the travel agent, which would be like, all right, get the bus here, and then we'll get your visa when you get to the border. So so
you could hook up a visa for yourself. Like,
Exactly.
I'm partying, but hey, you do know you got to do this in 3 days. We got to
Yeah.
money changers?
Yeah, I'm sure they had all that. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people would go back to Bangkok to renew their visas because you can only stay 30 days or 60 days in Thailand.
I think 30, but I might be wrong.
But as long as you leave for 10 minutes, you can come back in. It resets.
Border runs is an interesting thing.
Border runs, exactly. That was what they called it.
So my friends in China, they had to do, I think every 6 months they had to do a border run.
Yeah.
Because they're tourists. I think you go for 6 months as a tourist. But it was like, sometimes it would go like, let's make an excuse to go to Korea for the weekend.
Exactly.
And sometimes it'd be like, let's take a train over the border, stamp, return immediately.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah.
Bangkok is interesting. Tell me, I mean, I got to ask more about your Bangkok. But it is like, to me, it's the gateway to the Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
It's the most accessible of all the foreignness of that whole region.
Yeah.
It's set up, Singapore probably more, I haven't been there, but more like first world.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, Bangkok is everyone's first trip in. They have international flights from everywhere.
Yeah.
Direct flights from Australia and everything. It just seems like you can get everything done in Bangkok and lose yourself.
It's a major city.
Yeah.
And the places that I went were always like touristy, backpacker, like traveler places. There's like a whole like financial district where they have like it's like real life.
Yeah.
They just have, but then it's also got the dirtiest, most horrible like shanty towns where people are living on the river, just broke, poor.
Yeah, that's
and you
a weird
see
one.
if you're traveling on the trains, you'll see it because like you'll go by skyscrapers and all the Manchester United fucking football players are hanging from the ceiling because they're advertising the AIG Bank or whatever, and then you go across just a slum.
It's
of a bunch
slums.
just people living on the river, just broke as fuck.
It's not even a regular level of broke.
It's like almost homeless. It's like you're homeless, but you guys all live here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like an enclave of just poverty people.
Yeah.
And just like siding, like metal siding on one side.
Yeah, the wall is just like this like iron sheet.
Yeah, and I
Like
remember them going. I just got malaria shots and I was taking malaria medication. Like, don't these people have to worry about malaria? It's like, yeah, many of them die.
Oh, really? I didn't
from
know
malaria
that.
all the time. Yeah, it's like it's not great. They're getting stung by mosquitoes.
Yeah, we used to have to take the malaria tablets all the time. And then I traveled with a guy who just never bothered. He was like, I don't really believe in that. And he was fine. Apparently, it's much more like when you go up to the hills.
It's the hills. I think it's the hills, and it's also like there's a season for it, rainy season or whatever season. So if you're not going in season, a lot of the backpackers are like that's an extra cost. The backpacking opens you up to really doing research and having better experiences because you like whatever I can to save $5, $50.
Yeah,
$50 a month for malaria pills. Like, dude,
yeah,
I'm on 1,000. That's a big percentage.
Yeah. The cutting money is crazy. I don't think I could ever do it again the way I did it then. I was 20 years old and it was like every dollar we counted towards. The way it worked was me and the guy Andy who we were traveling with, we both had like the same budget of like $2,000 for the entire trip or something like that. Something crazy small. And then we said, all right, so our budget is every day we have €15 to spend or whatever. And then if we didn't spend any money on a Tuesday, that meant we could add that to the next one.
Great.
So slowly we were noticing like the cheaper we got, the later days were slowly getting bigger and stuff like that.
Well, that's also cool because then you could like, what if you do want to go like not scuba diving? It's too expensive, but like a more expensive thing.
Yes,
you know, then it's like, well, we have to have saved up.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So
and we're not talking about a nutsy thing. We're like, hey, the train to there is $12.
Yeah.
So that's a fucking full day.
Well, we did a lot of buses. When we went from, I think it was from Chiang Mai to Vietnam.
On a bus?
No, from Chiang Mai to Laos on a bus.
Laos.
On a couple of buses. Because the buses would only go so far.
You
And then
gotta
they'd
go to Chiang Rai. From Chiang Rai, you got to go over.
Yeah, that's exactly how we did it. And then one of the buses, I had a seat. It was more like a minivan. And the seat that I was on was like, you know, the cap for the wheel. You know, like when the wheel, so that
on the side.
Yeah, on the side. It's not a seat.
So you're like,
I was literally just sitting on this plastic seat. I had one arse on that, and then my other arse cheek like on a bag of rice or something. And it was 12 hours. It's like, and then our bus broke down at one point in the hills of Vietnam. At one point,
you have to just let go of your luxuries or your first world luxuries, a luxurious state of mind, where it's like they're like that is a seat. We're going to sell it, and there's this feeling the first week or two of like, excuse me, this is not a seat. And then on this third week you're like, well, there's also I'm not just like this is annoying. I'm sitting in a wheel well. I'm looking at someone else standing. So I'm like, this is actually a pretty good seat.
Yeah, and then there's like locals there too,
Yeah.
who are just like they have a bag of chickens with them or whatever, and you're just like preparing for this shit. It's insane.
It's just like they're transporting goods while you're like on a passenger.
There was a big bus that everyone's stuff got stolen, right? So this is what they did was they got this big bus, and it was like more of a luxury traveling bus where they all have dorms and stuff. And I was on the way to Vietnam, and then by the time they got there, they all took out their bags, and their bags had all been raided. So it's like someone was in there where they keep all the bags underneath.
They closed it.
Yeah, and then they're just going through all their stuff, and they were replacing their phones with like dummy phones and shit like that. Crazy. So they would take the phone. Some people had like because your phone doesn't work in Vietnam, so you would just shove it in your bag because you're not going to get signal around it.
Right.
So there was no reason of having it.
And once they figured that out, game on.
And then people would open up their bag. People would open up their bag, and it would just be a shell of a phone, like in the same cover.
Hoping they didn't notice for a while.
Yeah,
just some guy hanging on,
and then
bumping.
Of course, but it's probably
it's a seat. He probably paid for that seat.
Yeah, but or the bus company is probably in on it too.
Thailand is the main one I've heard that of like there are scams that like grab your clothes, grab your stuff out of your bag.
Yeah,
like that's the one where it's like you really got to watch them close the door.
There used to be a technique people would with their because they'd be sleeping on these night trains and stuff. Well, they'd get your backpack. And you would like cover it in a plastic bag and tape it. So if someone came over to root through your stuff, you could like hear them try to rip open the...
Yeah, you'd have to, if you're taking a nap on a ferry, you're sleeping on your bag, not with it next to you. You really have to protect it.
Yeah.
I was just so tired. Let's get back to Bangkok.
Yes. So Bangkok. So where did we leave off? We're at the Khao San roads nuts. Yeah. No, I also... Does it like...
What's there to do? The food's okay. You're telling me about the foods, noodles and shit.
Foods,
from stalls.
Classic noodles.
How much? How much were they costing?
It was cheap. It was a couple of bucks. You know.
Did I tell you what my friend said about it?
What?
I went to a full moon party.
Okay, yeah.
Did you ever go to one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the name of that island again?
Koh Samui or Koh Phangan?
Phangan, yeah.
Koh Phangan, yeah.
Whatever, something like that.
I figured out later that Koh means island.
Yeah, that's nuts. You could do 4 episodes on the full moon thing alone. Yeah,
I'm gonna do some of these episodes where we're gonna recover the same cities.
Yeah, of course.
Because like Neil Brennan's Bangkok ain't gonna be your backpacker Bangkok.
Yeah.
It's just not, And then also like I'm gonna have someone I know. Maybe you'll do some because you know the questions asked. Will interview me about a place.
Okay, yeah.
I've also been places.
Of course, that'd be great.
But yeah, the full moon party. It's a separate one. But anyway, I was doing the math. I was like, hey, how much is a Chang? I think one of those 20-ounce Changs.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like 100 baht. I'm forgetting the math now. 100 baht. I'm like, wait, 100 baht? Because I could do it the other way. I was like, $3 is or $10 is this many baht, but how much is 100 baht? I was doing and she said, what are you doing? My friend Sarah. I was like, I'm trying to figure out how much it costs. She goes, it's free. Everything here is free. She was pretty much right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's under $1, dude. What are you figuring out?
Just
30 cents or 38 cents?
Yeah. And once you can let go of that too, once you can start to just go, fuck, I'm not even...
Sweet.
I did that. That was one thing I did when I moved to America. The day I got here, I just said, I think in dollars now. And I never translated nothing. I refused to...
I did that with Celsius and kilometers per hour. On those mopeds out there, I'm like, I know what 90 is.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned with what it relates to in my old way.
Yeah, you got to just... Otherwise, you'll be just thinking about that, and it's just bogging you down.
Yeah. I love getting the UK. I'm like, oh, it's fucking like... It's like 28 out here. And I'm not even like, I know that means hot.
The mental energy, by the time we got to Vietnam, I didn't even ask what the conversion rate was. Because they're just like, what is that, 2 billion, whatever? Yeah, whatever. I know it's not going to be crazy.
It's not, right.
And it's not...
Isn't there a joy, though, of going like, do you know how little this costs?
Yeah.
A 3-course meal with a fucking drink for this much? It's so fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun being able to just buy shit for cheap.
So you don't remember how much...
I don't remember exactly, but I just remember everything was a couple of euros as I would have went by at the time. And then I do remember there was like a huge mall that you would go to. Everyone would go visit that because it's just this gigantic mall that has all sorts of weird shit. And the malls there are like, you walk in, it might as well be a street. Like one floor is like legit, like fucking
stores.
Gap and H&M or whatever. Yeah. And then like each floor would change to like, suddenly it's just like some guy with a table trying to sell you a coconut or something.
Today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Springtime. Guys, it's a wonderful season. It's spring. It's in the air, as they say. Yeah, you can smell it. You can smell the flowers. So why not put your phone down and head outside? Don't worry, the Gaza and Israel conflict will continue without you. It'll still be there. But what will not be there is flowers on the trees. Yeah, for a limited time only, go out and see which flowers smell and which ones don't. This one doesn't. But it's beautiful, isn't it? Put your phone down, everybody. Put your phone down. You Be Trippin says get out and enjoy your life. There's so many flowers. Let me show you from You Be Trippin. Yellow ones. It smells a little bit, to be honest. Nah, I'm imagining it. But still, I tried. Springtime. The trees have flowers on them. It's amazing, and it won't last very long. It's springtime. Bees are out. They're pollinating. What are you doing on your phone? Everywhere you go in the springtime, there's signs of life. Yeah, it's beautiful. They smell great. They look great. Get outside and enjoy it. You Be Trippin reminds you this is temporary. The whole life is temporary. We'll all be dead someday, just like these flowers. And just because these come and go quicker doesn't mean we'll have any longer term in the blink of humanity. That's right. If you do mushrooms, you realize that we're all temporary. We'll all be gone someday. We'll be dead. We'll be souls floating up into eternity. And why not enjoy it in the small amount of time we have left? It's springtime, everybody. Get out there, enjoy it, live your life. You Be Trippin says it, and I believe it. Flowers. Tulips, I think, maybe. You think that's going to be there in the summer? No, definitely not in the winter. Look at that. Red, white, all sorts of stuff. What the hell are these ones? I don't know. Again, this is a limited time offer. It will be gone soon. What won't be there is these flowers on these fucking trees. It's amazing. It's springtime. You can only enjoy it for a limited time. And that's what You Be Trippin says. Enjoy it while you can. Don't worry, won't be a new episode of You Be Trippin till Monday with Duncan Trussell talking about India. Then not another one till the following Monday with Luis Gomez talking about Jamaica. Springtime, everybody. There's also hot chicks wearing barely any clothes. That's my message. Now, let's get back to the episode.
And then they had huge markets. The markets were also a very...
What did you get into? How many days did you stay in Bangkok?
I think the first time I must have spent like 2 nights.
Oh.
And then the next time it was like 2 nights again, and the last one was either 1 night or 2 nights.
That's about my limit.
Yeah.
So we went Phuket to Bangkok to...
You arrived in Phuket?
Yeah, because I was late.
Oh.
It was a big turning point for me because I was like, I was going to do this Australian trip.
Okay.
On the way to Australia, but maybe not. I think not. No, yeah, I was going to go to Australia first, then straight from Australia to Southeast to the full moon party.
Yes.
And I booked a fucking movie, a shitty movie, and I didn't know at the time that I could turn these down.
Yeah. Okay.
It was called.
You
I
thought
hate to even say it.
You thought it was too big to change. You
It
were
was
like, it's too
Zach
big.
Galifianakis and John Hamm were in it.
Okay.
And Sacha Baron Cohen's wife, and then the fucking Wonder
Ooh.
Woman lady, and it was like, this looks shitty on paper, but I'm like, I gotta be misunderstanding this.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, it's shooting right, so I had to cancel Australia or push it back 6 months.
Yeah.
And I had to meet my friend in Phuket, so he flew to Bangkok and then flew to Phuket. We didn't know about the bus. It was like 10-hour bus, man, or a 1-hour flight. In hindsight, should have taken the buses.
No, I would disagree completely.
You see the country that way. You get a feel of it.
Yeah, I know. But what my biggest regret of that whole tour, or whatever you want to call it, the trip, was not having enough money to just fly. When I flew back from Vietnam to Bangkok to get that flight out of there, I flew back and I said, fuck it, I don't care. I'm spending
That's
the money.
Vietnam to Bangkok. That's different.
Yeah. But like the amount of times I spent just on the side of a road waiting for a bus
Just
to get
waiting.
fixed.
Oh, right. They're cooling down the fucking
Yeah, well, everything would just
brakes.
break down, or
Yeah.
they'd pull over at the side of the road, and you're
And
like,
you're just like, I guess I'll smoke.
I guess I'm having mango for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and they're selling you shit, so it's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be without food while we're here.
Yeah, but it's the most. You know what? In fairness, it's the most fun. I do remember like being stuck at a gas station for hours, just with my friends, just having the most fun. Because like you're not in a hurry to go anywhere.
You're there already.
This is the trip.
This is the trip.
Yeah,
You're
being
not headed to the fucking thing.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's like, let's see what a rest stop is like in
Exactly.
it's somewhere, I don't know if it's Cambodia or Vietnam, somewhere in the border.
Yeah.
Wait, so went to Phuket just for like a day,
Yes.
met him, he was there before, then went to Bangkok for 2 or 3 nights, did a show, they paid for a room for 2 nights, pretty cool.
So you got
Yeah.
$10.
Then went to the full motor party, then Chiang Mai, then back to Bangkok, and went back to Bangkok, it was like, there's no reason to be back here.
Yes. Yeah. So the reason we arrived in Bangkok, went down to the islands, did full moon or whatever. We all became we made a big group of friends in the hostel.
Love the group.
And then they were like,
In the hostel where?
In
the islands or?
on the islands?
Okay.
Yeah, at the full moon party. And then they were like, well, we're all going to Bangkok now. And
Let's
we're
all
out.
group up.
We'll only because they were gonna go to Chiang Mai too, and we were like, we just want to go straight. And they were like, well, we're gonna spend 2 days. They were like, fuck it, let's just go back because we had fun the last time. And then the second time, he sat to sort of go, all right, this isn't the same. Because when you arrive there, it hits you so
hits
much
you.
that
Yeah,
and then
it
it's like
hits
you're like asking, you're still nervous. You're like ordering stuff and you don't even know how to say thank you. You're like kapun ka, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Kapun ka? Yeah, you
Kapun ka?
try to copy people like kapakun,
yeah, kapun ka I think was the one.
karpun kap.
Kapun. No, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. We were making an effort.
Yeah, we're making an effort.
Whatever. I'm paying.
If somebody's like taki, I'm like, fair enough. There you go. Here's your burger. Taki too. Yeah, all right. So
yes.
you went back and you stayed at a hostel with all those people.
Yeah, we stayed in a hotel the second time, the D&D Hotel, which is a famous like place for all of the Irish travelers to go to. The
really?
D&D Coast Road, it still exists. I just googled it.
Really?
Yeah. I was checking them to make sure because again, these places change so fast that they might just ban tourists or something. They tried to scrub it up. It's just a pedestrian street now, I think. And
Kosan?
Coast Road, it's a pedestrian only street now, and there's less stalls, I think. That's according to
Why?
Wikipedia.
They tried to clean it up?
I guess it was just had a sort of a bad reputation.
Yeah, it did. That's where you would that's where all the filth was.
Of course, it was like literally, it's like Vegas. It's like dirtier
Vegas.
Asian Vegas.
With mixed to like Times Square.
Yeah.
So what'd you do did you go drinking?
Every night we got fucked up. All day, all night we were just fucked up constantly. And then you arrive and you're getting these buckets. Even though the Bangkok buckets aren't really part of the vibe there.
It's okay. Here's what I noticed. God.
I guess you gotta explain
go
buckets.
out, go in. I know because it's like so in Paris. You're nowhere. I just was there.
Nice.
You're nowhere near the Eiffel Tower. You're all the way across town. But the stalls have like fridge magnets of the Eiffel Tower because you're like, well, you were probably there.
Yeah.
Or in French Polynesia, they're like Tahiti. And you're like, I'm not on Tahiti. I'm not even on this island. But they're like, hey, tourists, you'll get these. So it's like buckets are the island thing.
Buckets are the
and
island
then the
thing.
rest of Thailand was like, well, it's a Thai thing.
Yeah,
you guys
but
like it. It'll remind you of your time in the islands.
But one of the benefits of being in Bangkok is you're in a city, so you might as well get like a fucking vodka Coke or drink all your beers and get all the stuff that you
Right,
can
and you
get.
can keep going in. Buckets,
Yeah.
you don't want to go back to the stalls to get more beer, so you have like, this is an hour's worth of booze
Yeah.
for me and my friends.
So for people that don't know, in Thailand, they just have they literally like a fucking sandcastle bucket, like for children, and they give you ice, and they'll give you like either a Coke or a 7-Up or whatever.
A base, non-booze.
Yeah, and then you'll get a Red Bull.
Red Bull, that's
And
the
then
other
you'll
place.
get like your
To cover up.
whatever your liquor is. Then it would be-
Multiple liquors, I thought.
was it? I can't even remember. Was it 2 you'd get?
2 or 3. It was
Yeah, and you
just
tell them
bad.
which ones you'd want.
Yeah, exactly. You go rum, vodka, whiskey, and you're like, I don't know, rum and whiskey?
And I remember too, we were so cheap. There used to be a thing where they'd always be like, they'd crack it in front of you, like a safety thing, because people got nervous or something that they would crack the. There would be like a noise they would make when they would open these drinks in
because
front
they
of-
refill the liquor bottles for a
yeah,
while.
but we were just like refill. I don't give a fuck. What's like? This is not for us. This is for some white chick who's afraid to get fucking.
Because
date raped.
so they started doing this thing where they turn around, open, and be like, "Wait, what's that from? That's not Jack Daniels."
Yeah, but whatever.
But right, they may as well have not built it as Jack Daniels. So it's like it's local
it's
fucking
bullshit. Yeah, yeah.
whiskey that we found here in goddamn Thailand.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're drinking,
you're drinking and there's
hanging out with who? Thai people?
just random people. You're just meeting people on the street.
Thai
Again,
people?
Thai people are there. Yeah, mostly travelers.
travelers. That's what
And
I
then
want to
just
say. That's
like-
what I want to say. You mostly when you're in a maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. When you're there, you're not meeting locals.
You
Quickly, but you're not making friends with them.
not making friends with them. Now, having said that, so here's when I got off the Koh San Road. I ended up going home with some prostitute. I didn't know
Interesting.
she was a prostitute. I talk
Interesting.
about it on stage sometimes, but she was like, "Oh, let's go home," and I was
You
like,
just met her? Where'd you meet her?
at one of the bars playing pool. So it was like me and some other white guys were just playing pool.
And she was just talking?
She was just hanging out playing pool.
Thai girl?
Just a Thai girl. Because like these Thai girls want dick. There's like, and you just got to figure out, are they prostitutes? Are they not? It's like a very grey line.
I'll tell you why. Because when I was there, I was talking to like a guy who lived there and his
Yeah.
Thai girlfriend, and she goes, "There's so many hookers here, and it's so fucking easy to get, and there's no stigma to it. That if you're a non-hooker and you're trying to like, you got to wait till the 5th date before like you're just
Yeah.
never gonna get to a second date. It's so easy to just
Yeah.
like if a girl's like, I make him wait and keep him pent up. He's like, I'm gonna go fuck on the way home. So your waiting it doesn't apply in this society.
Yeah.
So the regular women, the non-sex workers, are also very loose sexually.
Yes, and also you can't play hard to get when the guy's traveling through, and he's
I'm
like,
only here for 5 days.
It is what it
no,
is.
not that actually. 2.
yeah, exactly. If any guys listening and you want to get pussy, the international rule is you got to be where like people are moving. So if you can lock down in Key West and you just have a new tourist every week, that's it.
Because they want to have the Key West adventure.
They want to have the adventure. They know it's not going to be a long-term thing. They know, they don't have the time to play. There is no bluff. There is no like, I'm going to make you wait. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You'll be gone tomorrow. That's like, if that's what you're looking for, every country in the world, that's the best option.
Good note. So you meet this chick playing pool.
Meet this chick playing pool.
What'd you even talk about? She spoke English?
She spoke English, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what we talked about. I remember she said she had kids.
She did?
Yeah, she said she had like 3 kids or something.
Drunk talk.
Just drunk talk, usual shit. And then she said, come back to my house. And so I was in the hotel where they couldn't bring the people back, I guess. But she was like, I'm not a prostitute. I was like, I'm not sleeping with you if you're a prostitute. I said that to her. She's like, I'm not. And she was like, all right. So we got in the tuk-tuk and we go back to the, like, out in the asshole of Bangkok, like far from...
Bangkok's massive.
Bangkok's
it's
huge.
Spread out. It's an hour sometimes in cab to get across the city.
Yeah. And we were like, it was like a concrete, like, slum kind of it was a poor enough place, but it was like all concrete buildings. And we went back to the house, and then she was like, how much would you pay me to fuck me? And I was like,
we just talked about this.
I know. I was like, you just talked about it. She was like, come on. And I was like, no. So then she started sucking me off, and she's like, how much would you pay me? And I was like, all right, let's figure it out. So, well, your morals change pretty fast when they start sucking you off, you know what I mean?
Also, so she was a prostitute.
She was a prostitute, but I feel like, you know what, she wasn't like, I feel like she just knew I was weak. I think she could just sense that
She's like, I'm not a prostitute, but I will take money from you.
I want to get the money off the guy. Yeah. And then she was like, it was like 200 baht or whatever the equivalent was back then. I don't remember. And I only had like 100 baht on me. And then I was like, oh, tomorrow I'll give you the money. We'll meet up because we were supposed to go to the cinema or some bullshit. And then I end up banging her. Oh, here's another one. I was raw dogged her, right? First time.
Not the greatest idea.
But you know what? I'm a Catholic boy. So, you know, you got to have some...
Pull out?
No.
Oh, my God, dude.
Here's what happened. Here's what
I know what happened. I've had sex.
This is genuinely what happened, though. I was banging her, and then I was like, I'm about to come, and I went to pull out, and she grabbed my ass and held me in.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that
That's the most cash
Isn't that
cow.
kind of consent kind of thing?
Oh, it's 100%. It's 100%.
Listen, I got to tell you, it's not that bad. I don't know what everyone's complaining about, but
wow.
Yeah. And then I was like, whatever, and
because if she gets a white kid in her,
I think that's
you're sending money every month.
Well, not this white guy, but usually, yeah, for sure.
$500 a year.
What's she gonna do? Sue me? How's she gonna send a lawyer?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up banging her, whatever, and then I left the next morning.
Also, if she has a white kid with you or anybody that she's had sex with in the last 2 weeks, she's milking all of them.
Yeah.
This is your baby. I know you want to come, but just give me $500 a year.
$500 a year for my kid? I could do that.
Yeah.
I'll have a couple
we're
of
in
kids.
a tough spot.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would do that just for
And she's getting that from 6 dudes?
Yeah. That's the prostitution thing over there was crazy.
So, keep going.
So, so the next morning then or whatever, I'm leaving and it's early. It's like 7 a.m. or something. And I leave this, like the projects, I guess they are, like the high-rise buildings. And then all these kids are going to school. What are
these kids? Her kids?
No, just like the local kids
Okay.
are all on their way to school. And they're all wearing like white shirts and a black tie and they're all dressed all in a very weird, because they dress weird going to school there. They have this like old, I don't know if it's like French uniforms left over
these details.
from.
Yeah.
And they all see me.
Do you have
and
pictures of that?
No. And they all see me and they're all like surrounding me going, they're all like, because like I'm like the first white guy they've seen. Like, well, like, or at least in that part of town, they would never see I'm 6 foot plus, a white guy, and these are just tiny little, and they're all like dancing around and pulling out of me and like laughing and doing crap. I'm just like I just came in a prostitute. I'm sobering up. I'm trying to get myself a taxi and I can't even find one.
Wow.
Yeah, trying to get back to the coast town. I wish I knew that. I always regretted not knowing that address. I just wish I knew.
Look it up somehow?
I couldn't even guess because she just gave the address and then I just gave the address back to Coast Town Road.
You have no idea. East, west, north, south.
Not having a clue.
Wow.
I've always been. I just wish I knew more information. And then that prostitute ended up finding me on the Coast Town Road because we were supposed to go to the cinema and I was like, I didn't want to meet up with her. I didn't want to give her the money.
Yeah,
and then she ended up finding me at one of the bars.
Hey, motherfucker.
Yeah. She was like, hey, you owe me that money. And I was like, I'm not giving you the money. And then she had like this like big like Asian guy came over. Was like, you got to give her the money. And then they walked me to the ATM. and I handed her the money, and then she goes, "You made me pregnant." She goes, "I'm not gonna abort your baby," and I swear I went, "Fucking finally something we can agree on." Fuck off. That was it. That was like a climatic.
You made me pregnant?
That's what she said.
It's a little early to miss your period.
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
a little early to miss your period.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
still
of
dripping
course.
out of your
exactly
down your leg. Like, fucking
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah. Also, the
You
amount
made
of
me
the amount of
pregnant. That
booze.
means that's what she was trying to.
There was a whole thing. It was a whole probably scam or whatever. She seemed she was into it.
Yeah, but
So
then
you-
she's like, I'm not having a baby with some guy who won't pay his fucking bills. I will abort this one.
I'd love if I had a little Thai guy. I'd love to go back there and just like bump into some half Asian version of me. Just
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't do your Irish accent. I'm trying to say that.
Kapun cat in an Irish accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. Like, so I was coerced into prostitution that night,
Damn.
even though I was very firmly like, no.
Yeah. Tell me about just the in general partying in Bangkok.
Yeah, partying Bangkok again. It's the Coastline Road, so it's all these young,
Like that
tourists.
picture you showed me of like, let me see that again. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like
It's just
youthful people, blackout or close to blackout,
Yeah.
having the time of their fucking lives.
yeah. So there's this photo. That's me and
Oh
my
my
friend
God.
Andy, and that's just like two random local Asian girls.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure exactly where that was, but I'm pretty sure. It was
And you're just
Bangkok.
having a fucking.
We're just wasted, and then you're getting.
Where are you?
What do you mean?
That's you?
That's me. Yeah.
Wow.
Some 20 years old, 19 years old, or something like that. Fresh faced. Just had my braces off and stuff like that, so it was like.
Wow. Bombed. Oh,
Yeah.
here's something we got to talk about.
Oh, all the bracelets.
Yeah.
And the wrist. Yeah, I just remember. That's just like the fashion, wasn't it? Just to
Yeah,
pick
but you
up
can
shit.
get them made.
Remind me, because I don't.
You can
remember.
get them made. They'll make them say anything with beads. It's just this bracelet
Oh,
that goes around.
yeah.
And usually it's like I love Bangkok,
Yeah.
or whatever. But then it's sometimes they're just like they're made to order, like leftovers. They're like, oh, somebody got that one. So I put I got one for my friend Don Barris, King of Late Night, Don Barris, and I was
okay.
like, I think King Don or something like that. And they're like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But one is like I fuck boy dick. You could just like you can get like you can get anything for a
Yeah.
friend, and they just give. They don't know. It's just like it's not even letters to them. It's like shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Looking back at those photos, because I dug them up for this podcast, it
Yeah.
was like the fashion or whatever. The style is like so like goofy that it only works when everyone is like. There was no way I would ever have a thing wrapped around my wrist like that.
Bracelets with
It's like
words.
6 bracelets
Yeah.
up my arm, and
'Cause
and,
like if-
and then a singlet shirt or whatever you want to call it that says Budweiser. And and you have a, although that's the type of hat they would wear, but yeah,
With this?
that's a traveler's hat right there.
Oh yeah.
That's an efficient traveler's
I got
hat.
it in Australia.
Yeah, and then the girls would always wear those. I was trying to, those flowy traveler pants. I don't know,
Elephant pants.
elephant pants. And if you have a good ass in those pants, it's the hottest thing in the world.
It's hot, and when you see them here, it's a sign of like, hey, I travel.
Yeah, and it's always like they hug
You call
the
it elephant
ass.
pants if you don't know what I'm talking about. Marissa, put something up. It's because it's got graphics of elephants like all around it, like
yeah.
line, elephant,
Some
elephant,
designs
elephant,
going
line.
down.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Here's the lamest I've ever seen it on.
Oh,
Go ahead, keep talking.
I was just saying because the way it always goes up the crack of the ass,
Yeah.
and it jiggles perfectly. It's like
Perfect.
it's like and it's nice. It's not like slutty or anything like that. It's just like
It's nice.
very
It's nice
complimenting.
because it's too hot for pants.
and
for
she
jeans.
and she's just wearing like a fucking like a, I don't know what you call it, like a belly top or whatever, because she's traveling. And then she has like a beads going down her hair. That the hot travel girl is
Yeah.
is a very unique, beautiful woman.
It's unique. It's not underarm hair. They still take care of that.
Yeah, they're still well washed for sure. We're
It's
not,
strange, but like
hey,
it's borderline hippie.
yeah.
By the way, you know who else wears elephant pants? Dudes sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
the lamest shit in the fucking
yeah,
world.
the dudes in the
Fuck
same.
off.
No, this is for the women.
It's for the women.
Women wear pants. Men wear
Yeah.
shorts. All right.
Yeah, it's just their version of covering up from the sun and still
Yeah.
wearing shorts. It's so
Yeah.
thin,
It's so thin. Yeah, it's barely like wearing anything. Yeah.
but it's loose. It's not like Lululemon.
no, it's loose. But for some reason, if you have a good body, that's why you got to Google what they call elephant pants. Is that what you call them?
I call them elephant pants.
Yeah, for sure.
What were the toilets like in Bangkok?
Toilets in Bangkok were fine. Everywhere, proper running water, sit down,
Sit down.
or they'd give you the option. Most places have the option. They would have like hole in the like. So you go into like a restaurant or wherever to go for a shit. They would have like regular cubicles, and then they would also have like 2 or 3 like squat holes.
Farang? What do they call
Squat holes?
foreigners in Thailand?
I don't know.
Malay? Yeah, squat holes. But that's their normal.
That's their
And
normal.
then like, we'll have some
squatting.
tourists sit
They do
down.
say, well, that's what we're doing now is with all the squatty potties is we're because we've all the whiteys have hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to squat. For some reason, they started sitting because of the lords in England or something. They were like, I'm not squatting. And then we all have hemorrhoids. So now we're getting the squatty potty, which is just the equivalent of what they do naturally.
Right.
So when you're having a shit with your squatty potty, your knees are up around your chest.
Sometimes those like real Asian people, village ones, will come to America or a place with toilets, and they'll just stand on the seat and squat over that. They're like, I guess you stand up on it.
They do it if they're from Haiti and shit.
Yeah, you see footprints on there. Turkey.
There's a lot of these shit. I worked with a lot of these shitty Haitian style country people in construction, and I'd go into the cubicles, and there'd be 2 big fucking cement prints on the toilet, they face like AC Slater. That's the way I did it.
What do you mean?
They'll face towards the wall.
Towards the back of the toilet?
Yeah, they face that way. So they'll walk straight
'cause you
in,
can hold
stand
on to
up, and then they lean back and just fire in the hole. It's crazy.
Did you go to any sites or anything in Bangkok?
Yeah, I remember we went and saw the palace. And then we went around.
You got into the palace?
No. The palace was just a thing you saw on the outside, I believe, if I
right.
remember correctly. And I do remember at the time, we were worried because the king at the time was sick. And we were afraid that he might die during our trip. And then the whole country goes into war. And it's a crazy political place. Because
it went fine. But the fear that was there was like, shit.
Well, they had locked down the airports not long before us because I think it was like, I believe they call it the yellow party and the green party maybe. Their political parties are just 2 colors. I can't remember what.
Poops.
Huh?
That's what I call my poops. It's either yellow party or green party.
And then something like the yellow party won. And then the green party who were in charge and control the army were just like, no. They just said, this is my...
I know the election, but also nah.
Yeah, what are you going to do? So then they was like, the yellow party was like, they shut down the airports. No one could fly in and out. They just locked up the city. They put the whole city on like an army patrol.
Wow.
And we're like, we won. And then the other party just had to go, okay, fine.
Wow.
Like, that's like, incredible. And then, we went to here's what we did, right? Second trip in Bangkok. You need a day off from all this, and you need to go back to reality. Some of this tourism stuff is great when you're hiking, and then after like 4 weeks, you stumble across a McDonald's. It's like fucking. It's just I need to feel normal again. You go in and get a Big Mac and a Coke because you're sick of just eating off bamboo leaves or whatever.
Yeah, and it's the same shit. It's noodles. It's just the same shit. It's not like here. It's like I don't eat burgers every day.
Of course,
once in a while.
That is the thing. It's a lot of
no salads out there, right?
No, I think they can't keep it.
A mixed green salad? No fucking
the
way.
Smoothies, that's why we had smoothies all the time, because it's the only way to fucking get anything.
Yeah.
That's what people love Thai food, and I never quite, because I ate so much of it, and it was like the street versions, and it was just like every single day. I never quite
got into it.
I don't love Thai food like other people do.
I love Thai food.
Do you? I think I just ate so much of the same shit every day that it's like it reminds me of prison nearly.
The inability to afford real food. So what? You got back and you're like, I just need a McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. We went to the cinema. We went and watched Harry Potter at the cinema.
That's interesting.
Just to
see I want to hear the differences in cinema there.
So
I did this in Myanmar my first few days. I went to see that what was that? It's a video game. And they made a movie out of it. It's like with like a knight, and he climbs buildings, and he flies off.
I don't know.
And he like
Batman?
jumps out. It's like Knights of
Daredevil?
the Templar kind of guy.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Anyway, so we went to see that, and everyone's coming in and out,
Okay.
sleeping, eating kettle corn popcorn. It wasn't like regular popcorn. And I was like, oh, these are differences.
Yeah, I remember.
Let me hear 'em.
I do remember they were selling weird shit. Like you'd show up and it would be like a beef stew or something like fucking outrageous. Where you're like, "Is there popcorn?" And they're like, "No, but you get like a chili dog or something." And you're
wow.
Like, I remember it was unique, and we just needed to relax and kill some time and take the edge off the travel.
AC,
yeah.
That's
now
big.
this is it. Thailand opening. They do they do the commercials. Then there's a fucking montage of the king's life. So they show you the king, and everyone has to rise. So everyone has to stand up and like pray to the king or salute the king. And they show you him from an infant, like growing up through his life to present day. And there's like music playing. And then at the end, there's like a big like woo to the king thing. And then you sit down and then you fucking watch the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
that
nuts.
is interesting.
Right? Because like that's just every single time they do it. There's like some weird.
That is interesting.
There's some weird rules. I don't know if they're always true. Because I do remember everyone was always begging for the king to pardon people. White guys get pardoned. They get sent to prison in Thailand. And they have to spend like 20 years because they were caught with something.
Were you worried about smoking weed or?
I was so worried because I was a fucking idiot. I bought a few books from white guys who are in prison in Bangkok. So I was just like constantly.
That's a common theme, trope in travel writing is being in a foreign prison.
Foreign prison is a huge books, and they're interesting because a lot of these guys
gangs in these prisons.
You never know.
Yeah.
Some guy just accidentally smuggled something or was framed for something or whatever, and then he spends 15 years just like on a cement floor. Like the prisons over there are fucking hardcore bad.
Damn.
Like just where they fight each other for fucking dinner, and people are getting stabbed constantly, and everyone has like fucking scurvy and shit. It's just nasty. And you're like a white guy who just happened to fucking have a joint on him.
Yeah. Just like,
But then
I don't
the
know,
king-
I like to get high before meals.
And then the king would pardon you. The king would some every now and again it would be his birthday. He's just like, "Yo, all the whiteys, come on, you're free to go." It's crazy.
I love the kid. If he didn't do that, it would really kill tourism. I think there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
They were like, nah, we got to get these people.
But I've heard of because the king is so loyal, money is sacred there because his face is on the thing. So you're not allowed like rip up. Apparently, someone went to prison for ripping up some money. And it was because they ripped up the king's face.
It wasn't because of the dollar.
No.
Wow.
And he went to prison. And someone definitely got arrested for climbing a palace thing. They were drunk and they climbed up on like a statue and they arrested him. Boom. You're in prison.
I love how you find places where we just don't fuck around about those.
Yeah.
You came from a country you fuck around. We don't fuck around.
Yeah.
I like the cultural difference shit for like movies where it wouldn't even be something you would go to Thailand for, the Bangkok for to experience, but it's just like somebody talked about like the fonts on signs as soon as you get to the airport. Like that's a different type of font. You feel like you're in a different place. And movies is actually probably a pretty good one. They had a fucking montage for the king before the movie started. And I'm sure everyone there was like, oh, right, movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie, of course.
I'm sure that king is dead. And I remember
he is dead. Everyone after he died.
Everyone hated the son. Because apparently the son had some wild stories of like forcing... Because he's just this rich kid who can do anything.
Fuck up.
And he forced... you remember forcing these maids to fuck dogs and shit?
He had a birthday party for his dog, spent $1 million on a birthday party for his dog. And people were like, hey, man, we're still third world.
Yeah.
I know we're a good tourist spot, but we're still third world. That's kind of flaunty.
Yeah.
Just constantly fucking up. And his dad was so beloved.
Yeah.
And he took over. He's like, I like photography. He took over at like 70. And it's like, shit. Like, he should have just been a prince for forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they loved, from my understanding, they loved the father, the king, because he kind of stamped out the heroin trade or something.
I think he was like, I'm pulling us into a tourist world.
Yeah.
From being an outsider full of malaria. It's like, we're getting rid of malaria in the big cities. We're making this like tourist friendly. And so he made them all a lot of money. They're doing better. Then their neighbors, Myanmar, are super poor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He studied in America, that king, too. Like, these guys are like, they're traveled. It's not like they're just hill folk. So we went to that. And then, of course, there's the ping pong shows, which is like...
Jesus, how do we not talk about
the
that?
biggest thing.
How do we not talk about that?
The go-go bars, the ping pong shows.
Wow.
So Thailand's insane. So you go to a strip club, essentially. It's a sex show, and they do all sorts of tricks. And obviously, if you've been to Amsterdam, you've probably been to a sex show. We've been to loads of sex shows over the years because we used to go to Amsterdam as kids because it was like, not kids, but teenagers because it's cheap as hell.
Yeah.
But when sex shows, like, a lot of the time, they're like underwhelming. It's creepy. Two people just fucking in a room while everyone's just sitting there, like, just in silence. Like, and you can see the guy is like just, and then she's like this, and then they turn around, like a noise will go off, and they'll turn around and they fuck. Like, that's the way it was in Amsterdam. It's not like they're not into it. They're clearly just like doing the thing, and his dick is just so big. He's not even hard. He kind of just like has a big dick that you can kind of splint into her. So you're sitting there going like, this isn't fun at all.
Split into her, yeah.
Yeah, but then in Thailand, all the girls, they have tricks. They all have certain fucking tricks.
It's so fucking wild.
Famously, it's the ping pong trick where they'll teach themselves to fire from Kegel exercises or whatever, they can fucking shoot ping pong like boom, and they're accurate, man.
They're pretty accurate.
They'll catch you between the eyes from 20 feet away, man. It's like
And what do they hit it? What do they shoot it at?
they all sorts of stuff. There's like ball, like beer pong. They'll like lob it into balls, or they'll lob it off your fucking. They'll like get you to come up and open your mouth and shoot it into your mouth.
It's so gross because anything that comes out of there, like you are still a Thai hooker.
Yes,
And I don't want anything that's been in your pussy near my face or on my skin. If you don't mind, ma'am, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Do they do the darts?
They did the darts. Yeah.
Tell 'em
So
about the
that's
darts.
another one. So I guess they get a straw and they put it in them. And they'll be able to just shoot it. They can, whatever way they can get the air. Or
And
something.
what do you do in the audience?
Oh, there was like the balloons above the head.
You hold a balloon above your head, and then they lean back. They shove a dart in their pussy,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Wait, no." They're like, "It's good, it's good." And you're like, "Dude, if I get a dart of fucking
pussy dart?
Thai hooker pussy on me, that's then I'm a Thai hooker."
Absolutely. You catch
But
it.
you hold this balloon.
The accuracy on all Thai people in every form of job is insane.
They're accurate. Even their fucking elephants play harmonica.
It's insane some of the stuff these things can do.
They pop the balloon. It
Yeah.
just goes pew,
Yeah.
and hits a fucking wall
Dude,
behind you.
they could be fucking playing in professional darts. Some of these girls just 180 easily. And then there was other ones where they pull stuff out, where they go like pull this ring or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's on a ribbon, and then they just pull it, and then they're
magic
running
trick.
around the stage, and it's like a mile of ribbon just fucking up this girl's pussy. Someone told me this. I never saw it, and I wish I did see it. About a bird. Someone would keep birds in their pussy. Live birds, they would lob them up the pussy. Because what they'd have to do is, it's probably pretty sad, they'd get their womb removed or something and have like a fucking empty box in there. And then they'd be able to keep the bird up there. And then in the middle of a show, they go, and like a dove would fly out. Crazy. Just crazy.
How much did that cost? And what do you just drink and like?
You would
watch?
just drink and watch. Yeah. That was it.
Did they do the thing where they ask
It's
what your name is and then stick a magic mark? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So this is also, they've done this in Amsterdam too. So this is like an international trick, is what they'll get you on stage, and this happened to me before in Amsterdam. They bring you up on stage. They're like volunteers. It's all just guys doing volunteers. It's also not sexy at all.
It's not sexy at all.
It's just impressive.
It's not the ping pong show is not sexy at all. Right.
You got to be crazy to find this attractive.
You got a boner during this? What the fuck, dude? You're
No.
into clowns and shit.
It's just an impressive thing. It's like a party trick, really.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, they'll bring you up, they'll take your top off, they'll give you a bit of a strip tease, they'll ask you your name, and then they'll lean down and start rubbing their cunt all over your chest. And then when you stand up, then it's just your name written in perfect like penmanship, like Colum was here.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you're just like, what?
It's just crazy. And you're 20 years old, getting a ping pong bounced off your head from a whore. While you're just drinking the cheapest beer in your life, you're just like, this is incredible.
Who's there? Who's at the show?
Just all strange tourists.
Oh,
So
whites. I
you
call
would
them
find
whites.
it. So when you go into the street, just constantly people with mopeds and tuk-tuk drivers going, oh, ping pong show, go bar, all this stuff. So then you go, all right, bring us, the 5 of us, we're all going to go. And you would head over, and then they'd bring you somewhere. And then there's always, again, just so many scams, you'd have to be worried that they might just bring you somewhere and rob you.
Right. You have to be worried because it's an outsider thing. So it's like,
Or what I've heard of in Thailand, they'll bring you to a souvenir shop and be like, they'll drop you at a souvenir shop somewhere. And then, like, unless you buy something, we're not.
right. Suit shop.
Yeah, suit
There's,
shop.
on the way to the airport, we're like, hey, no suits, we gotta go. And the guy's like, okay, but we'll stop here. I just gotta pee. We're like, okay. And then it's a suit shop.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I gotta go, man. And he's like, yeah, just take a look. I'm like, hey, not buying. Take me to the hotel. And the guy, he's so fucking mad because he gets a kickback.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking
Yeah,
piece of
and he
shit.
hates you. He
I'm like,
hates
I
you.
don't look at my backpack. How do you not know the difference between the fucking travelers? If I'm with a backpack, there's no room in here. You're not seeing any space for a fucking suit.
I bought a suit when I was leaving
On the way out.
on the way out. And I went to a guy, he took my measurements, and we picked out some whatever. And
Fabric.
and I was like, the
not
whole thing
whatever,
was
it's fabric.
tailored. And I had like a light blue. It was like a light blue suit. And I went back like a day later to pick up the suit. And I think I'd already paid for half of it. It was terrible. The fucking fabric that he used was like sandpaper. Like it was like a hard suit. It was like it was made out of cardboard. The color wasn't the same. It was awful.
Oh my God.
It was the worst. I don't think I ever wore it once. I just traveled home with it and just left it in my wardrobe for years. The guy saw me coming. He ripped me off like a motherfucker. Yeah. Absolutely. He was like, this idiot.
The Hong Kong suits, Tom Rhodes told me about it. He's like, this is my suit maker, Rocky. You got to go to him. He's the best. And I was like, sweet. How much is it? How much was yours?
I'm sure it was like €60 at the time.
So he was like $300. I'm like, $300? That's a real. He's like, and Tom's like, yeah, dude, this is not Thailand.
Yeah.
You're not getting a fucking $50 suit.
Yeah.
You're getting one of the best pieces of clothing in your life. It's a $1,500 suit that is given you for $350.
Yeah, and if you get a $60 suit in Thailand, it's just fucking. It's not real. It's not. You couldn't wash it. It was hard. It was like it hurt to put my arms up.
Podcast election.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to go back and experience it again from a wealthy point of view. Like, not that I'm wealthy, I'm saying like to actually have the money, because people go to Thailand for like honeymoons and stuff, and they'll go spend in nice hotels and things like that. Like, I wonder what that's like. I have no idea what that's like.
So the cool thing is, nice hotels, at least in, I believe it was Chiang Mai, like a nice hotel was at the time, 2017, not crazy long ago, $25.
Was it only
$30? Because the hostels are $7, $8, $9, you know. So for $35, you got a pool, you lounge all day.
Yeah,
it's just real nice. So we're not talking about as a wealthy person. We're talking about not as a poverty-stricken person.
Just not as someone whose every dollar matters. Yeah.
You know what I want to do after we talked on the Patreons?
Yeah.
Colum and I did a swap cast for Patreons. We're like, we don't have the same Patreon listeners, so we just talked about. It was an early version of this of You Be Trippin.
Yeah.
I already knew I was doing it, but I was like, let me practice with this. And we just talked about Vientiane and like Laos.
Exactly. Yeah, tubing and Laos.
Tubing and Laos. Yeah. And I remember the feeling afterwards. It's just like, God, I got to get back there.
I was worried even today because I go, the itch you get is just like, what am I doing?
Did you get it as much during my Bangkok as you did for Vientiane?
No, but I think I might. I'll see. I know later on. Last time I left, I was like, I need to go to fucking Ecuador or something.
Here's what I was thinking. Why don't we get a group of like 12 comics?
Yeah.
Go, not just do an American vacation, 2 weeks somewhere.
Yeah.
One city, one country, I mean.
Yeah.
And here's the way I would plan it. Tell me right or wrong. We'll have 4 or 5 days, hostels only. We're all staying in hostels. We might have to split up, but we'll meet up in hostels. Pick some city, maybe 2, you know, maybe a 6-hour bus ride to the next city, wherever it is. One of the days, it's, hey, everybody, go. Take this bus there, take this bus there, take this bus there. Go sleep alone one day, find a hostel, sleep alone.
Yeah.
Come back here tomorrow or the next day. Like, you're on your own for one day.
Oh, it's like a challenge nearly thing?
Sort of, but also, like, go experience this fucking fun time.
Absolutely.
Of, like, meet somebody in a hostel. Don't get a hotel. Figure it out for yourself instead of relying on your friends.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2 days, and then come back and be like, oh, what did you guys get into?
Yeah.
And just more drinking.
More advice. Yeah. That's the whole thing, too. Yes. The lack of plan is my favorite part. Like, the spontaneous lack of anything was just phenomenal. I was in Florida recently, and this is the first time I've ever felt it since that trip. And there was a storm, we couldn't leave, and they were like, it's 2 days for the next flight out. So I was like, fuck it, let's just stay for another 5 days, because I had everything I had planned was already cancelled. Right. But that's kind of how traveling was like that. It was like, oh, there's a storm, you can't leave today. We're like, no, we'll just stay for another 2 days. Or we arrived in Phuket. We hated Phuket. We arrived there, we were one night, we booked the hotel for 2. We said, fuck it, we're out of here first thing in the morning, gone.
I love that, like, we're not returning your money. It was like, what was $9?
It doesn't matter.
So
we're out of here.
Keep it.
I'd rather leave tomorrow than stay in this shithole for another fucking 24 hours.
I had 3 hotel rooms one day.
One day?
3 hostels. Yeah, because me and my buddy, he was smarter than me. He's from Seattle. And we went and got a place. We're like, I just want to sleep. Seemed like a nice Agoda or Hostel World.
Okay, yeah.
They had apps. You know, you could, like, bed bugs. Like, is it bed bug? Party hostel, not, you know. Look at reviews. And so our friend Ryan from Newcastle, he went to a different hostel. And we're like, all right, it's quiet, it's fine, our hostel. And Ryan's like, dude, it's the best parties, everyone playing cards every night. There's a fucking meetup, it's great. And my buddy was like, hey, I'm gonna go to that one. I was like, yeah, me too. Let's just get out of this one. But he paid night by night. I always get worried that they're gonna fill up and kick you out. So I paid for 3 nights. And then they were like, hey, I'm taking my stuff. I'm going on a day trip. I was too embarrassed to say I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So I know they're not gonna refund my money. So I'm like, I'm going on a day trip. That's why I'm taking all my stuff with me, and I'm just going across town. Met a chick there, and she's like, I'm not fucking you in a hostel dorm room. So unless it's a single, and there wasn't. So then next door.
Did you say, look, this is the thing. It's like, I don't want to fuck in the hostel dorm. And then you go, I'll put a towel up. So that's the hostel thing is you're in an 18-bed dorm. And if you're banging someone, you would get your towel and you would like hang it down.
In between your bunk bed area.
You could still see most of the stuff. You could, like, a towel is only going to fit so much. And if not, it's only a tiny bit of cloth that you can still hear them slapping cheeks,
Shower, go to the shower.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was like, not doing it. So I was like, I'll get a room. So I got a hotel room for like, and this was like the second night there for like maybe $20 for a nice shower.
Yeah.
We started making it. She's like, hey, your bug spray, I can taste it. I was like, sweet, I'll take a shower. It's a good excuse to take a shower. Got blown. Then she was like, let's have sex. I was like, you already blew me. And then I just couldn't fuck. But anyway, that night I had three rooms.
Yeah. And I probably at the time there was a part of you were like, I'm wasting this money. And now you're like, it was like $35. You could lose it and wouldn't even know.
The drinking with other travelers at hostels is just the greatest thing.
It's always like, where have you been? Where are you going? Where are you from? And then they're like, you talk to someone, they're like, I'm from Lithuania. And you're like, what's that like?
What's that like? Yeah, you're actually very interested.
Yeah.
Which is what this podcast is.
Exactly.
What if you went back to Bangkok? The last time I went back to Thailand, I was like, I'm taking a flight straight to Chiang Mai. I'm bypassing Bangkok. I have no interest in it. It's so fucking dirty to me. I hate it.
Yeah. I would go again just to see how it's changed. See if I can remember streets and see what, like, it was like a nice little fucking stall I used to go to, see if that still exists. But I don't know if I'd spend there too. Like, again, I was 20. We're getting fucked up. Like, I don't know if I want to be around a bunch of 20-year-olds anymore. That's like, that would bug the fuck out of me.
I'd still want to get fucked up.
It's a sad place. Sometimes you'll come across these, like, homeless white people. And you go, what are you doing here? How did that happen? How are you here? I forgot
about that.
The homeless white people in Bangkok, they'll come up and ask you for some money. And you're like, bro, what happened? I think I always thought people just did acid and they fried their brain or something.
No, you know what it was.
What was it?
I have enough. I'm on a travel trip, the same one you were. That's not a unique thing. It might be unique to your friends in Dublin, but it's not that unique in the world. Yeah. Travelers go out there. I have enough money I pay for my flight out to begin with. I have $1,000 a day in my ATM, and I have enough money. I need $200 to get back. Yeah. And then they're doing heavy drugs. They start like going through their money. They're not working. And eventually they're like, well, let me dip into the fucking travel back money. Yeah, yeah. And then eventually they just can't get back. And now they have to get little jobs here or there, save up $10. Yeah. For some food and so whatever. They can't get the $200. Yeah. In working in fucking menial jobs in Thailand with drug addiction. Yeah. So now you're just homeless in Thailand.
And then you wake up, your passport's probably gone one day, and then
it's definitely expired. It's been 8 years.
You can't even afford to find
where
the embassy.
Where are you going to work? Yeah. Yeah, you can't afford the embassy.
I'd rather be homeless in the Western world.
Yeah, for
completely. Sure. That's not. I know it sounds nice to travel out there, but I just don't think there's a very thin line to experience it. Oh, I just took some notes. I want to make sure that.
Yeah, tell me because we got to wrap this up. We're at the hour.
Yeah, no, that was it. It's all just the food, the party, and the tuk-tuks everywhere.
You took notes.
We did.
Tell your friends when they're going to do it. I took notes.
It's locked.
What else? Let me see. No, you did what? What were you going to say? As I read your notes.
It was mostly just about how like overwhelming it is when you move there.
The smell. I like how you mentioned the smell.
The smell is it's disgusting and it's unique. It's not garbage, but it's like it's a Thailand garbage.
It's a thickness,
and it's gross, and the steam. You know, like it's like New York. It's like the steam shoots out, and you're fucking.
Because you've had 100% humidity for weeks now, not just one day.
And the traffic laws are so unique. They drive everywhere. They just drive everywhere, like all over the place. The traffic law. Funny, when I was leaving, I got something happened. I can't remember, but they shut down traffic for some fucking reason, and I got stuck at the mall because buying gifts. Yeah. So I got back. By the time I got back to my hotel, I was afraid I was going to miss the trip.
Yeah, we had it too.
So I went up to a guy on a moped, and I go, "How much to the airport?" And he was like, $20. And normally,
that's far.
And normally you haggle him down. And then I was like, "How long to get there?" He goes, 25 minutes. I go, "You can get me there In 20 minutes, I'll double the rate. And it was the scariest thing. I go,
with all your shit on your back.
my back, and I'm
And
holding
pulling
him
you
like,
back.
and he's driving up on the curb. He's flying in and out of traffic. He's going down the wrong road. It was the scariest thing. I remember kind of trying to be like, yeah, you don't need to do this anymore. It's okay.
I think I'm actually ahead of schedule now.
Yeah, and he ripped it. He ripped
Wow.
it. That was the scary. Because normally you go, how much? And they go 20 baht, and you go 10 baht, and they go, okay. For him to go, how much? 20 baht, and
I
for
don't
me
have
to
time.
go, I'll double it. Let me just leave. I don't give
Now
a
there's
fuck.
no haggling. He's like,
Also, this money it's not real anymore. What am I going to
you're
cash
gonna
it
buy a
in?
croissant at the airport. Yeah, you're not cashing it in. They're like, oh, do you take
Yeah.
quarters? Wow.
But yeah, you should do some comedy travel thing. South America's probably the easiest to convince.
See the garbage guys going to the non-married one anyway.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, we can
They
get some
wouldn't
people
go.
to
They wouldn't go unless you can set up.
Finance would
Unless they
go.
could set up
You have to
Antodis
relapse.
and set up Antodis in
Yeah,
Ecuador.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Colum,
Thanks.
that was great, dude. Bangkok. Now we've been to Bangkok. If I can cross another one off the list.
Hell yeah. What
Where can people find you on Instagram or
at Colum Tyrrell across all social media?
COLLUMTY
No. Why?
TY?
Yeah, you said I.
Oh, TY. I think it was a pause.
All right.
COLUM at, which is like an A with a circle on it. COLUMTYREL.
2 R's.
COLUMTYRRELL.
Yes, you did it across all social media. The Colum Tyrrell podcast. Ari was a guest. Please go check that
Start
out.
with that one.
Appreciate it. And if I'm on the road, so columtyrrell.com for all those dates.
Okay, great, dude. This is fun. All right, everybody. That's it. That's the episode. Thank you very much, Colum, for coming and telling us about degenerate behavior in Bangkok. That is the kind of travel I like hearing about. The old you, who you wish was the new you. That's a certain type of travel you can only do as someone in your 20s. Broke, you're just making it work. Fun stories. Fun stories from Kali Cocktails. He is a hilarious comic. Make sure to check him out on the road. All those dates. Hold on. I have his link tree right here. I mean, we'll put a link to it in the description of the YouTube or of the Spotify, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. Make sure to subscribe wherever that is. Subscribe to the Patreon. I'm not sorry, the Patreon, to the YouTube. Leave a comment. Tell us your stories about Thailand. Tell us better stuff to do than get drunk and mess with hookers in Thailand. Don't forget to watch his comedy special. It's out right now. It's a half-hour special. And his dates: Moon Tower in Austin this weekend. I'm on the show the 19th. Hartford, Connecticut. Sunnyvale, California. Greenville, South Carolina. Seattle, Washington. Portland, Oregon. Long Island, Tampa, Port Charlotte, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Nashville, Memphis, Burlington. All places I was with him. Detroit. I was there. Cleveland. Charleston. Charlotte. Raleigh. Yeah. If you liked him for 15, you'll love him for an hour. And I am taping my new stand-up comedy special Friday, everybody. Friday, April 26th in Washington, D.C. Get tickets at arishaffir.com. April 27th is sold out. Like I said, if you know anybody out there in the D.C. area, if they're cool, let them know. If they're cool, let them know. Come on out and have a funeral of sorts for this material. It's going to be a party. I'm happy with it. Let's just say that. Without tooting my own horn too much, it rules. Subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe. Let's get it over 50,000 views right now. Subscribers right now. We're close. Let's get it over 100,000 before I get back from Australia. I'll be in LA doing my storytelling show May 9th to 10th. Australia for May. Right after that, Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, and Adelaide. And then I'm done. Today's episode is produced by Your Mom's House Network, a network run solely by a man who's too frightened to go to Thailand himself. And it is edited by Chris Larson, expertly. Chris Larson has recently gotten out of prison. He was wrongly imprisoned for killing a man. Turned out, after further evidence, it was a woman that he killed. And the courts were forced to overturn it. Double Jeopardy. They made a movie about it starring Ashley Judd, about his entire life. Chris Larson, we're happy to have you editing podcasts. Until next week we got a great one on Monday. Next week we start every Monday only. Duncan Trussell, the illustrious and creative Duncan Trussell, telling us about India, a trip he took when he was a young lad. India, saw some wild stuff. Definitely check in on Monday, and then after that, Gomez will be the next Monday, and we'll just do once a week after that. Thank you. That first month has been amazing. What a success this podcast has been, and thank you all for making it happen. I do appreciate it. Until next week, everybody. Wait, how do you say goodbye? Kop krum kop for tuning in. I remember that, and I'm saying it wrong. I'm Ari Shaffir, and I appropriate different cultures and mess them up. See you later.